Hello everyone, my name is Apple Guy. Welcome back to the episode of Let's Play Professor Layton and the Curious Village. In the previous video, we began our search for the golden apple, but got cut off because there was a man who decided to spend the night at the inn and then leave without paying. So we will be hunting that man down very quickly. I'm counting on you to catch that no-good fiend who skipped out on his bill. Alright, Beatrice, we will do our best to help you. Be a darling and find that bill-dodging thief. Honestly, how are we ever going to make progress on our search for the golden apple? Things aren't looking good. No one knows anything about the item in question, and we have no leads. I'm beginning to wonder if this golden apple that everyone is in a flap about over even exists. Now Luke, I wouldn't say we're without any leads. Think, my boy, there's a place in St. Mystere that every villager has warned us to stay away from. What do you mean? The tower, Luke. No matter who we ask, no one seems to know a thing about the place. But suppose for a moment that the tower has something to do with the golden apple, and it follows that the people of St. Mystere, scared to draw near the tower, wouldn't know a thing. Of course, we need to investigate that tower. The tower marks the far northern border of St. Mystere. Let's search the road north of the market for a route to the tower. There we are, ladies and gentlemen, Chapter 6, the Elusive Tower. We need to search the village for a pathway to the tower. I will not save my progress. I'm recording a video. Also, I guess Beatrice is just going to be taking care of her own issue because we're not going to help her, apparently. Hey, look. Good day, gentlemen. How's your investigation coming along? I can't imagine it's much fun asking questions all day. How about a puzzle to liven things up? A puzzle will liven things up, certainly. Specifically, puzzle number 72, the sound of silence. Which of these words doesn't make the sound of silence? Note, rhythm, rest, treble, chord, or scale? Isn't that interesting? What you need to realize here is that each of these letters has a silent letter. We have the E in note, we have the E in treble, we have the H in chord, we have the E in scale, and the H in rhythm, which means that rest is the only word that doesn't make the sound of silence because it has R-E-S-T, all those letters are pronounced. Fun little English puzzle there. That's right, the answer is rest. All of the other options have silent letters. There we are. I guess the old advice to write what you don't know, what you know doesn't apply here. That was just too easy. You know, right now I'm penning a mystery novel, and I'm basing the protagonist on you. This is why I've been observing you so carefully. In fact, the more I see of you, the better. So good luck with your search. I'll be watching. Alright, hey, we finally reached the point where we jammed so many items in Layton's room that it's just automatically going to be sent to Luke, which is essentially a victory. I'm happy with that. I'm responsible for managing the influx and outflux of residents in St. Mystere. In other words, I supervise who gets to stay in this village and who has to be shown the door. If you wish to stay in St. Mystere, I strongly advise that you solve this puzzle. We will solve puzzle number 73! How many squares? This board has 12 dots on it. Your task is to connect the dots to form as many squares as possible. You can use each dot multiple times, and you can orient the squares however you wish to fit them on the board. However, to count as a square, each corner must be on the dot. How many different squares can be drawn on the board? So this board that we have here, we can draw a collection of squares, all of which have to be connected on 4 sides with the pegs that we see. So I'm just going through and drawing in a handful of them. There's a whole ton of squares you can do. You can do some squares at angles. If you were to go through all the combinations, you can get a total of 11 squares into that board. And after you do all 11, you'll run out of options. So the answer is 11. Nice work. Did you have a hard time finding the 2 biggest squares? The 2 biggest squares are the little ones on the bottom. They're angled perfectly. So yeah, they're a little tricky. Certainly. Yes, that's the answer. Very well then. I'll approve your application to visit St. Mystere. When you have finished your business here, I strongly advise you leave the town. Alright, that's a little rude, but sure, we'll take it. Not too large of a deal, I suppose. We're kind of hunting around for puzzles now. Lady Dahlia sure is oh my gosh, you're still talking about Lady Dahlia. Just taking a peek around, seeing who's in each building. Alright, so we need to obviously oh wait, hold on, I forgot to check in front of the manor. How foolish of me. There is a gentleman here. It is, of course, Ramon. Ahoo, if it isn't Professor Layton. Judging by your expression, it seems you haven't found the golden apple. You look terribly tense, Professor. Perhaps this small puzzle will help. Ahoo-hoo, loosen you up. Sure, we'll take a puzzle. Puzzle number 93. Over the river. Help Stash and Scarfin move the wolf, sheep, and cabbage from one side to the other while obeying the following rules. In addition to its captain, the raft can only support one animal or item at once. When Stash and Scarfin isn't near, the wolf will eat the sheep and you'll have to start over. The sheep will eat the cabbage when Stash and Scarfin isn't around. If you let the sheep have its way, you'll have to start over. You can shuttle the raft back and forth as much as you like. The shortest solution takes only 7 moves. Alright, so Stash and Scarfin is completely and utterly locked. It is impossible to take Stash and Scarfin off of the road here. He unfortunately must be on the raft. However, this puzzle is significantly easier than the wolves and chicks one we did at the start of the game. That's the solution right there. Very, very simple. Well done. The shortest solution for this problem requires 7 moves. How did you fare? I hit a perfect 7. That was masterful, but I expect nothing less from the great Professor Layton. Ahoo-hoo-hoo. Awesome. Alright, a quick little easy puzzle for us here. Looks like no one's hanging outside the St. Mystere Manor. So we will now go ahead and go to the other side of town. Right outside of the park to start. No one's around. We'll check the restaurant. See what's happening in here.
I'm glad to see you, Professor. I seem to have got myself into another jam. I know you're busy and all, but I can't find the answer to this puzzle. Would you give me a hand with it?
We can. Puzzle number 79, apples to oranges. Hey, I'm Apple. Some careless delivery man loaded 2 shipments of fruit into the wrong warehouses. As you can see in the picture below, the oranges are currently in the apple warehouse and vice versa. Can you correct the mistake and put all the fruit in its proper place? What we need to do is a little bit of a sliding puzzle where we have to move items all around, particularly from one side to the other. We need to prioritize moving these very dastardly orange boxes so that they can be placed with the proper... let's actually do this first. Yeah, we need to move all the fruits into their proper storage sections, because right now, would you believe it, someone messed up. That happens sometimes. I don't imagine it happens too commonly, especially with a catastrophe of this size. But yes, it certainly can occur, and when it does, I would imagine it's quite bad for the market who's trying to sell the fruits, and, well, the fruits that they want to sell simply aren't around. Let's go ahead and rotate this around a little bit. There we go. Okay, this can go over, this can go in, over, up, in, and we are done. 77 moves is not the best, but it is, you know, easy enough. You just have to work around in sort of a cycle to move your fruits from one side to the other, and always store the fruits that are in the right place farthest from the entrance, or the little gateway they can go through.
Ah, so that's how it's done. Thanks again, Professor.
You're welcome. Happy to help, Triton. Happy to help.
Back for another match, eh? I just knew that you two are a bunch of chess fanatics. Nevertheless, this one won't be easy, even for a pair of chess fiends like you.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're now on Too Many Queens Part 2. Puzzle number 81. We've solved Too Many Queens before, but now we have an extra column and an extra row, so we need to place 5 queens. In chess, the queen can move the full length of the board diagonally, vertically, and horizontally. See if you can place 5 queens on this 5x5 chessboard. There's a catch though. You must arrange the pieces so that no queen blocks the other's line of movement. Right, so as we've said before, this is very similar to a puzzle we solved in another game, that game being the 7th Guest. So we just have to basically figure out where we can put this queen to where no lines will be crossed when you draw the lines that I'm drawing right now. I think this puzzle is super, super fun, especially as someone who may not be the best at chess, but enjoys and respects the game. I think that there is a lot of very cool strategy behind chess, and this is just sort of something that chess players can think about instantly. I'd be interested to give this puzzle to, like, one of the Botez sisters or someone like that who's very high up in chess to see if they could solve it. I'm pretty sure they could. Probably even faster than... Well, definitely faster than I could. Very nice. This one was a bit tougher than the 4x4 version, wasn't it? There's more than one answer for this puzzle, so if you really want a challenge, search for alternate solutions.
Wowzers, looks like I'm gonna have to think up a harder puzzle if I want to stump you. Can't wait for you to see my next puzzle.
And you don't happen to have that next puzzle already.
He certainly does. It's about time you two shut up. So you ready for a little chess?
Sure, by any chance is this Too Many Queens 3? It is, puzzle number 82. In chess, the queen can move the full length of the board diagonally, vertically, or horizontally. Let's see something a little different this time. See if you can arrange 3 queens on this 5x5 chessboard so that no more pieces can be placed on the board. Make sure you place the pieces so that no queen blocks another's line of movement. So what we are trying to do is block out all of the other options for anything else to be on the board. Anything else at all. So if we were to go through and do our markups like we like to do, we have to make sure that every single square of the board is blocked in one way or another, so that if anything was placed, it would be immediately within the queen's line of sight, and we would be able to defeat whoever that is. As you can see, the solution I have here is the solution. Scared me for a second because it all shined red. I was like, hello, did I do it wrong? No, I did not. There it is. That's all the block spaces that was showing up. Good job. Some people probably stumbled across this answer when working through the 5x5 chess problem. Potentially.
Yep, that's the answer, alright. Just wait for the gem I'll have ready for you next time. It's gonna be so hard it'll knock your socks right off.
Is that so? Do you have that puzzle ready now? He certainly does.
Okay, you two, we've had some good times together. This is the last puzzle I've got for you. Don't be sad, because I'm about to drop a beast of a puzzle on you. I guarantee you won't be able to guess your way out of this one. So, are you ready, kids?
Aye aye, Captain. This is puzzle number 83, Too Many Queens, part 4. The finale of Too Many Queens. In chess, the queen can move the full length of the board diagonally, vertically, and horizontally. You have 3 queens positioned on an 8x8 chessboard. Place the remaining 5 queens on the board so that no piece blocks another's line of movement. And the game feels the need to tell you that this is a tough one. Well, thank you, game. I appreciate the warning. However, I'm not too concerned. I think that's how we have, that's actually not a valid solution. We have quite the experience in our heads at this point. I'm counting spaces. How many spaces do we have? We have 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. We have quite the masterful experience of playing chess at this point, so I feel like we are definitely in the clear when it comes to figuring out which spot we need to go in. Obviously, we can only have 1 queen per row and 1 queen per column. That's easy to figure out. So for example, if we go here, we can cross out all the columns that already have chess pieces in it, as well as all the rows that already have chess pieces in it. And what we are left with is a handful of spaces that are left over that we can choose to place in. So like E8, H6, A, B, C, D, E. That should be good, right? I don't want to go through drawing all the lines because it's too many lines to draw through. But this looks good, so we're going to submit this. Let's see, was that the correct answer? Layton's happy. I've drawn all the lines for all the other chess puzzles, so you can kind of see how you would go about checking yourself. You got it. Since 3 queens were already in place before you began, there's only one possible solution for this problem. What's that? You think it'd be more interesting if you had to place all 8 queens by yourself? It'd probably be easier.
Chicken mate, you're done it. I knew you were chess masters all along. I was sure from our very first match.
Well, good sir, it was a pleasure to play chess against you.
Sorry to let you down, fellows, but I'm all out of puzzles to give you.
It was a pleasure to play chess against you. Hey, Polly's just screaming, not about a puzzle this time. He just says he's quite hungry. And is this girl still watching him?
Where's the fun of running around town trying to help other people? Don't you feel so dumb?
No, I feel quite superb, thank you for asking. Let's proceed into the northern part of town. Here's the cat and the mouse.
Yeah, there aren't many animals around town.
You're right, Luke. How odd. And this girl also does not have a puzzle for us.
Adria's really nice, but she comes up with some tough puzzles.
Cool. We can also visit Archibald's house if we so choose. So sorry to bother you while you're busy, but you have an old man very happy by solving this puzzle. Certainly, let's have a look. I don't know if that was Archibald's voice. Puzzle 109. The laziest man on earth. Isn't that funny? Behold, before you sits the laziest man in the entire world. Known far and wide for his aversion to physical activity, this slug has designed his house that he can grab everything without leaving the comfort of his recliner. using an elaborate set of tools, including a fishing rod, extendo arm, and high-energy magnets. This legendary loafer has put everything in the room within reach. However, despite his efforts, there's one place he can't reach without getting off his duff. Can you find that spot? We certainly can find that spot, and this spot is honestly a bit of an out-of-the-way spot, because there's not really a point for you to ever need to get here. But essentially, he would need to get off his chair, stand up, in order to reach under the chair. If he's on the chair, then he can't reach the bottom of the chair. That's right, there's no way for him to reach under the chair without getting off his rear end. If that fishing rod, extendo arm, and magnet combo works as well as it seems to in the picture, this fellow may never need to get up again. Assuming he doesn't drop his phone under the chair.
So that's the answer. In my heyday, I could have solved a puzzle like that before you could say, cobblestone. My goodness, I'm getting soft in my old age.
Alright. By the way, ladies and gents, I don't think I ever called it out, but in the top left corner in the full screen view, which I'll go ahead and show you right now, we do have a puzzle counter. So if you're ever curious how many puzzles we've solved, the answer is up there. If you guys catch it in a cutscene, maybe, it'll always be up there. Or before a cutscene, after a cutscene. Anyway, puzzle number 68, find the Pentagons. A number of 5-sided shapes are hidden within the picture below. How many could you find? Answer when you think you found every single hidden shape. So there are an amount of hidden shapes here. Pentagons are shapes that have 5 sides. An example of a pentagon is the one I'm drawing right here. Okay. As well as all of the possible rotations of that pentagon. So you have to consider rotations when you do this as well. There's the 4-ish? 4, yeah, not ish. There's 4 you can get from what I just showed you, and there's 4 you can get from rotating as well. And there's an additional 4 hidden as well, which means the final answer is 12 total pentagons. You can get 12 pentagons if you investigate and find them all. Like I said, there's 3 main shapes. You just have to rotate them. Nice work. 3 different types of pentagons are hidden in the picture. Since each shape can face 4 different directions, you have a total of 12 unique pentagons. There we are.
What cunning lads you are. I hope you'll stop by and solve puzzle with me again sometime.
I believe we will. Let's see if Prosciutto has anything going on. He does. We started a new chapter, which is why there's so many puzzles. And this episode is probably going to be essentially just puzzle solving. Puzzle number 104, a sweet treat. On the way home from the store, you unwrap a perfectly square bar of chocolate. Yum. Much to your dismay, you find that only 4 of the 16 chocolate squares have an almond in them. You and your friends want to divide the chocolate evenly along the lines of the squares. However, just to make things interesting, you decided to divide it so that each piece is the same shape and contains an almond in a different location. Good luck. We need to divide what we have here into a shape, whatever the shape may be, but it has to contain 4 of the chocolate squares, and each one needs to contain an almond. Those are the rules set forth. So we have what? 16, right? Yes, 16 chocolates, and we need to make sure that each one is the same shape, but the almond has to be in a different spot. So for example, if we were to have an L shape with the almond down here, we would now need to have an L shape with maybe the almond right here. You cannot have the same sort of arrangement, you could say. And they also all need to be the same amount, because you have to make sure it's an even distribution. The solution to this puzzle is the L-shaped pattern that I am drawing right here. The L shape is the best one for distributing evenly, and as you can see, there is an almond in a different spot for every single L shape. Those are going to be our 4 L's that we choose to use in order to allow everyone to have an almond bite within their chocolate. Nicely done. Now make sure you share with everyone. I would eat every single chocolate, because that's the kind of guy I am.
The greatest culinary delight here in St. Mystere is croutons ginger pudding. It's delish. Ironically, the worst thing you'd ever put in your mouth is also a dish of croutons. Honestly, you could choke a donkey with those scones. Bleh. Thanks for the info. Turns out croutons great at pudding, awful at baking. Okay, good thing you don't really need to be good at both.
Okay, we've arrived here at the market square now.
You sure can't just doing a nice cut of veal? It's a veal deal. Har har har.
He thinks he's funny. Final puzzle of the video. It seems that Destiny has decided that I show you this puzzle. Will you triumph, or will the gaping maw of fate swallow you whole? Let's hope we triumph. In puzzle number 75, the wire cube. You want to create a cube out of metal wiring using the fullest number of wires possible. You can bend each wire as many times as you like, but no portion of the cube can have more than one length of wire running over the same edge. Don't worry about how one wire will connect to the other, because we'll use a soldering iron later on. What is the fewest number of wires required to complete the task as described above? How can I relate this to something that people sort of understand? I don't like the way this puzzle's worded, because it's a little bit confusing. Essentially, if you were to create, how would you, this is a tricky one. If you don't have visualization skills, which is something you mostly get based on the toys you played with as a kid, it's something I learned from one of my college classes, you're gonna have a bit of a hard time imagining how you would take, like, a cube and break it down into a bunch of smaller pieces. But the answer is you need 4 wires minimum, which means 4 different sections, in order to eventually combine them all together. So we'll input our answer as 4 and hope the game's answer explanation can explain it a little better than I can. Like I said, this is just something you can kind of pick up on as far as intuition goes. You need 4 wires to make the cube. 3 straight lines make up each of the cube's 8 corners. At least 1 wire must terminate at each corner. Since there are 8 corners, you'll need 8 wire ends to finish things correctly. Each wire has 2 ends, so the total number of wires needed is 4. There you are. Goodness, I can't believe you solved it. It was meant to be. I'll tell you what, since you went and solved my puzzle, I'll read your palm. Give me your hand now. Huh, it seems that calamity follows you wherever you go. Try your best to stay out of harm's way. Alright, well, we will do just that, Lady Agnes, especially as we continue towards the tower to the north of town, which we will do in the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and tell your friends of my channel if you think they would enjoy it. It means a lot to me when you guys my videos around, and I'll catch you guys back here next time for my next video. Until then, as always, take care.